Hello, I just wanted to show you this other heart that I made. This one was rather big, rather long, like a long and skinny one. I was thinking of making like a little pillow out of it, but to do that you have to make two of them and then sew them together on the sides. You know, sew them up the sides and down the bottom and all around here, and leave the top open so you can stuff it with fiber fill, and then sew it shut after you fill it. But that's what I'm gonna do with this one. I'm gonna make another one to make it a pillow. I wanted to show you how to make pillow hearts. I might not make one quite that big, but I did want to show you this one and tell you the concept of how to do it. But you can make them any size, any width that you want. You don't have to make them this skinny or thin. You can make them shorter and fatter, or like a different kind of heart. But this one, I started with the chain 4 like I did with the other heart. And then I did 4 double crochets into the center of the ring after I joined them. You know, because I chained 4 and then I slip stitch into the first chain to form the ring, and then I chained 1 and then did 4 double crochets in the center of the loop and the center of the circle. And then after I did that, I chained 1 and then put 2 double crochets in the same stitch that I slip stitched into, and then 1 double crochet across to the end, and then chained 1 and then just repeated it and went back and forth, and then just increased on both end stitches. So the first stitch I put 2 double crochets, and the last stitch I put 2 double crochets, but the ones in between I just put 1 double crochet. So I did it that way all the way up until I got it as big as I got it. And then when I got up here, it's the same concept as I did the heart earlier, where you go, except this one I did 5 across, 5 double crochets across, and then chained 1, and then went back this way to form this part. And then, as with the other one, I slip stitched till I got to this side, and then did the same thing. And then with this one, since the edges were like a little jagged, because they get like that sometimes, I slip stitched all the way around it, from, you know, all the way from the top all the way down to the bottom, and all the way around to this side, to kind of clean it up a little bit. You can either slip stitch it or single crochet it all the way around, either way, to make the edges a little bit more even and make them look a little more cleaner. But that's what I do with this one. But I'm going to make another one like it, and then connect them together and make it like a little heart pillow out of it. But I started another one here to show you with the same concept as this one. I started it the same way, where I chained 4, slip stitch into the first chain to form a ring, and then I did 4 double crochets into the center of the ring, chained 1, did 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet, which I'm going to do now, picking it up where I left it off at, 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then 1 double crochet in this stitch, the second stitch, and then I will put 1 double crochet here, and then 2 on this end over here. Oops, well actually 2 on this one, so that it'll be even. Actually put 2 on that one, and then chain 1, and then turn it and do the same thing. Put 2 double crochets in this stitch, and then 1 in each other stitch, and then 2 on each end. Each end gets 2 double crochets, and that'll be the increase stitch. And you just do that until you get it the size you want and the width you want, and then you just start doing the top of the heart. Then you start doing this part, like the 2 little ears. I call them little ears. Then you do the 2 little ears. You do this side, which is 4 double crochets, or this one I did 5 double crochets across, with putting 2 double crochets on each end stitch, and then 1 in the middle, in each middle stitch, if that makes sense. So I would start with 2 double crochets, then 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then when I got to the end I put 2 double crochets. And then I chain 1 and do the same thing until I got it like the size I wanted over here, and then I slip stitch all the way around to this side and do the same thing. And that's what I do with this one. And you can make them any size you want. You can make them short, fat, whatever size you want, but it's the same concept. You know, if you want to make it a pillow, and then you can stuff it with fiber fill. You can make 2 of them actually. It's the same size, and then stuff it with fiber fill. And then sew up the sides and then leave the top of it open so that you can fill it. And then after you fill it, then you sew it shut. And you have yourself a little heart pillow. But you can make them all shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter. You can make them tall, skinny, fat, short, whatever size you want. But that's how you do it. On the 2 ends is the increase stitch. And then the ones in the middle are just 1 double crochet in each stitch. So these 2, this one will get 2 double crochets, and the rest of these across will get 1 double crochet until I get to the end. And then I'll put 2 double crochets in the end stitch, and then just continue until I get it, like I said, the size that you want it, and then do the little ears. I call them ears. You do the little ear part of it, but that's how you do it. However size you want it, doesn't really matter, but you can make it whatever size you want. But that's the concept, that's the pattern that I do. But I just keep going that way, all the way up, until I get it as tall as I want, which I don't know if I'll make it as tall as this one. I might make it as tall as this one. I'll make another one this size, actually, to so I can make this a pillow, but then I'll make another one that might not be the same size, but it's the same concept, though. Hopefully you can follow along. I'll put it's the same pattern as the other heart. Basically, it's the same thing, except it's a little different when you start, because you're putting just 4 double crochets in the ring, and then you're just going back and forth until you get all the way up, until you get the height you want. But that's the concept of how you do it. Oops, that's a long tail on that one. But it's good to leave a long tail also, so that you can sew the ends of it together at the end, or if you sew them together, actually. You can also do that too when you sew them together, if you want to leave a longer tail to sew them all the way up, which I've done before too. You can leave a long enough tail to be able to do that, because I've done it that way too. But most times I'll just take a separate piece of yarn and do it that way with a yarn needle. But either way works. But hopefully you're able to follow along and you can get the concept of it. And hopefully you were able to see what I was doing. I'm just not used to looking through my phone doing that, because I got I'm at my office desk, and I gotta sit in my computer chair. Then I have my hands in front of me, and I'm looking through my phone to see what I'm doing. So it's kind of odd. It's kind of funny. It's kind of hard to do that sometimes, but I try to keep my hands in the camera so you can see what I'm doing. But it's the same concept all the way up, because the first one gets 2 double crochets, of course, and then this one gets 1, and then you just keep going. Which I'll make this one probably the size of that one, so I can sew both of them together, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. And I can sew them together and make it a little pillow, but you can make either size you want. I started these years ago, and I sold a few of them. I gave a couple of them away too for people that wanted them. I gave a few of them away as gifts, but they're neat to have with Valentine's Day. You can make them either color you want to, either pink or red, but I'm using the pink yarn because it's easier for me to, it's easier for me to use this yarn, because my red yarn is all tangly. Because I had it unraveled, and I had to ravel it back up again, and it got kind of knotted, so it was kind of hard to crochet with, but that's the concept. You just keep going with that same pattern, like I was saying, until you get it the size you want, and then you make the little ears. Then you can tie it off and sew it together with the other one, but this one's going to be about the same size as that one, so I'm going to sew them both together and then get my fiber fill and make a little pillow out of it. But hopefully you were able to follow along with me, and it wasn't too hard. Hopefully you can see my hands okay in this video. I'm trying to get used to doing this, because it's kind of odd looking through my phone. I'm not used to doing that. I'm not used to doing it like that, but I'm trying. It takes practice. But anyway, I'll see you next time in the next video. I just think of what else to make. I don't know. I make all kinds of stuff. I got to get more different colors of yarn so I can make different things, but I'll get it whenever Joann's has it on sale, because Walmart just doesn't have the a good variety anymore. They used to, but the Walmart by my house doesn't have a very good variety of yarn anymore. But anyway, until next time, I will see you later, and I pray that you have a blessed evening. And I will leave the written pattern to this in the description box of the video, but basically it's the same concept as the other one, really. Except you're not putting as many double crochets in the ring. That's the only difference. You're putting 4 instead of as many as I put in the other one, but that's the only difference with this pattern and that pattern. But until next time, I pray you have a blessed evening. Bye-bye.